Okay, welcome back to another video, which I am once again opening on this little storage house of mine. I really should find some different scenery for my videos. I know that almost everyone is here for the information contained within, but it really couldn't hurt. Maybe I'll boot up my old PC and cloud save some of the worlds I used to have on there, since they were more fleshed out and interesting because I used to play more on that PC. But regardless, we're here to look at the Bananarang and the Light Disc, as you can see in my hotbar here. These are boomerang weapons which got changed in 1.4.4. They both got buffed. They're boomerang weapons with a twist, and that's always kind of been the thing with them, right? They've been boomerang weapons, but you can throw multiple of them. As you can see, I can throw multiple Light Discs and multiple Bananarangs. And so this has always been what they do, but there were some caveats, I guess, to this mechanic that they used to have, which will be addressed in the changes, which I'll read off right now, starting with the Bananarang, which is now a single item, not a 10 stacked item, and as a result can now have prefixes. The damage is reduced from 55 to 45. The sell price of a single Bananarang is increased accordingly, so presumably you can sell 10 Bananarangs or one Bananarang for the price of 10, because it has the effectiveness of 10 Bananarangs in one, because it's been changed to a single item. The Bananarang also now has a 10% chance to drop from clowns. And then we have the Light Disc over here, which is now also a single item, not 5 stacked items, and as a result also can now have prefixes. The recipe cost has been multiplied by 5, since you now only need to make one. Similarly, it now sells for 5 times as much. The damage was increased by 3. The use time was reduced from 50 to 14, so it shoots faster. You can now shoot up to 6 discs at once instead of 5, and projectile speed and distance was increased from 13 to 16. So basically the point of these changes is, first of all, they're less awkward items, because the thing with the Bananarang and the Light Disc has always been that they are boomerangs, but you can stack them, and then the more that you stack them up to a point, the more of the boomerangs that you can throw, which was cool, but it was also kind of weird because you could like separate them, and also in the Bananarang's case, it made it basically an unusable item, because the Bananarang used to have like a 1 in 50 drop chance from clowns, and clowns spawn only in blood moons. They spawn rarely in blood moons, and in order to get 10 Bananarangs, you would have to get this 1 in 50 drop chance 10 times in order to use Bananarangs to its full potential. So basically the Bananarang was ungodly hard to get in its entirety, and you would almost never use this. And the only time that you would ever get up to 10 Bananarangs is in like a post-game, or like, I guess, post-Moonlord world, where you're just farming items for fun, and that's like the only time. The Bananarang itself got slightly nerfed, it feels like. It's way more accessible, which is a buff to the item, I would say, but the damage got reduced by 10, although it can have prefixes now, so that is somewhat mitigated. I don't think that getting up to godly is actually like offsetting enough. I don't think that that offsets the 10 damage drop. It might actually, because 55 to 45 is somewhere in the range of like 17 or 18%. So I kind of take it back. It should be about roughly the same. I think 16% damage is going to be a little under where it was before. But again, way more accessible, very similarly strength. Whereas on the other hand, the Light Disc got incredible buffs. I don't know about incredible. I don't know how useful it still actually is overall, honestly, but it got really big buffs. You know, you only have one, so it's just kind of less clunky in a way, because you only ever need one right there in your inventory to throw them. It can also now have prefixes, which if they left it the same, it would still have been better, because you can get godly on it now. I mean, that's crazy for the Light Disc, right? Everything about it got buffed, and so yeah, I mean, like, this is what they do, right? You can just throw a bunch of these boomerangs out. I can't actually say how strong they're gonna be, because I don't know how useful this is in comparison to other items, because they're kind of weird items, right? Boomerangs. You can shoot them and they don't pierce when they're going forwards, but they do pierce when they're coming back. And then they have like just weird sort of ranged properties because they return to you. It's because like they get out damaged by a lot of other just straight damaging items, which I've tested a little bit. At the same time, it's like you can see use cases for this. If you just liked the Light Disc and the Bananarang, then all of a sudden they're now way better. I think that the Bananarang tends to do a little more single target damage overall, although it's kind of hard to test because it kind of depends on how many crits you're getting. Like, you can see that the DPS goes like up and down a lot because the crits hit a lot harder than the standard attacks because the base damage of these weapons are fairly high. I think that the Bananarang does a little bit more. They're still very similar regardless. Regardless of that, I don't actually know how useful these items are going to be, honestly, still. Because, like I'd mentioned before, they do get out-damaged by some other items. They get out-damaged by high-piercing items, like some magic weapons, or I think, like, you know, Jester arrows. And then I tested, like, Excalibur, which is, like, you know, the weapon you can get at the same time as the Light Disc. And Excalibur hugely out-damages the Light Disc if used on single targets and multi-targets by, like, a lot. So it's kind of weird. I think if you use either of these items in, like, expert mode, it'll probably be perfectly fine. They'll get you through that point in the game if you just feel like using them. In master mode, maybe a little bit less applicable, but I don't actually know because I haven't tested that, right? I'm sure you could still use them, but they're just not going to be as efficient as some other things. But yeah, I like the changes, right? I mean, these have been like long forgotten items, sort of. They haven't received changes in a long time, I don't think. So it is very cool that, you know, like a lot of the other stuff in 1.4.4, getting some love. You know, it was the labor of love update after all. May as well give all these forgotten crotchety items some love, right? That'll be my overview of the Light Disc and the Bananarang changes, so go test these out. Let me know what you think of them, because I don't really know. I don't really have super concrete opinions on these items, so I'd like to hear what you think. And that's going to be all for the video today. I shall see you in the next one.